This temple was not built brick by brick. It was carved out of a single mountain. No machines, no explosives, no second chances. This is the Kailasa Temple, one of the greatest engineering and spiritual achievements in human history. It stands in a deep, man-made canyon. It looks like a building, a grand multi-story structure, courtyards, bridges, towering shrines. But it was not built, it was revealed. The Kailasa Temple at Ellora began as a solid slab of rock on a sloping hillside. Workers did not bring stones to build it up. They took the mountain away to let the temple emerge. They did this from the top down. The temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva, specifically Mount Kailash, his mythical Himalayan abode. The goal was to recreate Mount Kailash on Earth. Located at Ellora in western India, the Kailasa Temple dates back to the 8th century CE. It stands among a complex of rock-cut caves, but it is entirely different from everything around it. Why? Because the Kailasa Temple is monolithic. That means the entire temple, its towers, halls, pillars, staircases, and sculptures, was carved from one single rock cliff. Nothing was assembled, everything was revealed. The temple was commissioned during the reign of Krishna the ruler of the powerful Rashtrakuta dynasty. This was not just a religious project, it was an imperial statement, meant to be seen, remembered, and never surpassed. Unlike normal buildings, the Kailasa Temple was carved from the top downward. This is crucial. The artisans began at the very top of the rock face and worked their way down, carving deeper and deeper until the full temple emerged. One mistake, one wrong cut, and years of work would be destroyed. There was no margin for error. Every strike of the hammer is permanent. An error made on the roof, at the very beginning of the project, will haunt the entire structure all the way to the floor. A miscalculation at the highest point could create a fatal weakness in a pillar dozens of feet below. This method is the reverse of all our intuition about construction. It is like a sculptor who must carve a statue from the head downwards without ever being able to step back and see the whole form until the very end. The builders had to hold the entire perfect temple in their minds before the first chip of stone was ever struck. They had to see the finished courtyards, the intricate balconies, the sacred chambers, while they were still standing on the solid rock that would one day be empty space. The scale of this risk is difficult to comprehend. The temple complex is immense, covering an area larger than the Parthenon in Athens. Halls supported by massive pillars, delicate screens carved from living rock, life-sized statues of elephants, life-sized statues of deities. Each one of these features had to be accounted for from the very start. Historians estimate that between 200,000 and 400,000 tons of rock were removed. That's an entire mountain carved away. And here's the mystery. There are no records explaining exactly where all that rock went, or how it was transported. The temple likely took a lifetime to complete, involving thousands of artisans working continuously. The Kailasa Temple is not a simple shrine. It includes a towering central sanctum, multi-story halls, sculpted elephants carved from the same rock, appearing to hold the temple above, intricate carvings from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Every structural element is functional, not decorative. The Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt is made of roughly 5.9 million tons of stone. While the Kailasa excavation is a fraction of that, the comparison is misleading. It was the negative space, the void, that mattered. They carved 3 massive trenches, some over 100 feet deep into the mountain. This process isolated a central rectangular block of stone, and only then could the real work of shaping the temple itself begin, still working from the top down. This process is fundamentally one of subtraction, not addition. It is the art of taking away. Every pillar, every roof, every statue already existed within the mountain. The builders were not creating them. They were liberating them from the stone that held them captive. The same principle as a sculptor's block, but on an architectural and geological scale. The entire temple is a single monolithic sculpture, not many parts joined together. The energy required for this removal is almost unimaginable today without modern machinery. Every ton of basalt broken by hand, carried out basket by basket, piece by piece. There are no surviving blueprints. This absence is one of the temple's greatest mysteries. The answer, it seems, lies in the stone itself. The temple is its own blueprint. The sequence of carving, the order of operations, is recorded in tool marks and connections. The process likely began with a master plan, conceived by a chief architect, high priests, and artisans. They marked out the outermost boundaries on the flat top of the hill, the first cuts. Workers dug 3 enormous trenches straight down, defining the outer courtyard. They separated the central block from the mountain. Once isolated, it could be shaped. They started at the very top, the shikara, then revealed the roof. As the floor was lowered, the walls emerged, like lowering a lake to reveal a submerged cathedral. They stood on the surface they were removing. The temple appeared beneath their feet. Every pillar, doorway, and window had to be known before reaching that level. Pillars left as supports as rock was cut away. In a region dominated by powerful monsoon seasons, water is a formidable enemy of stone. Uncontrolled rainwater can erode delicate carvings. It can undermine foundations. It can flood courtyards. The builders of Kailasa engineered a sophisticated and permanent drainage system as they carved the temple itself. Channels, spouts, drains, a brilliant, mostly hidden feat of engineering. Without it, the temple would have been severely damaged centuries ago. The system is elegant. It works entirely with gravity. The architects design no perfectly flat surfaces exposed to the sky. Every courtyard, every roof, every walkway, subtly sloped. Water flows into discrete edge channels, then into deeper drains, and out of the complex down the mountainside. Look closely at the bridges. They are aqueducts, transporting water between parts of the complex, preventing pooling. Even decorative ledges double as gutters, protecting the art below. To last for eternity, you must make peace with the rain. To carve from the top down is to work in reverse. A normal sculptor can walk around the block, judging proportions and depth from all angles. The carvers at Kailasa did not have this luxury. For much of the project, the forms they created were embedded in the floor or walls. Imagine carving a life-sized elephant from above, its legs and trunk still part of the solid rock under your feet. This required a ghostly ability to see the final form within the stone. They were guided by lines and measurements, but their ultimate tool was imagination. They removed rock around where a pillar was supposed to be, feeling the shape before it was visible. Inside, by oil lamp, they hollowed halls and left pillars standing as they cut the space into a palace. To create jalis, thin perforated stone screens, a single misplaced blow could shatter the whole. This was stone surgery. The technology was simple. No power tools, no explosives, no diamond-tipped drills. The evidence in the stone tells a clear story. The primary tools were the hammer, the chisel, and the pick. Basalt is hard and resists splitting. It must be chipped and pulverized. Removal began with heavy picks and sledges for trenching. Then broad chisels for rough shaping, pointed chisels for edges, fine tools for faces and jewelry. For over a century, the canyon would have echoed with metal striking stone. On outer walls, parallel grooves, pitching, revealed direction, force, and rhythm. Pillars perfectly vertical, floors perfectly level, patterns perfectly symmetrical. Plumb lines for verticals, water levels for horizontals, charcoal lines and templates for repeating motifs. Simple tools in the hands of masters produce masterpieces. How long did it take? The scale defies a quick answer. Initiated in the 8th century, but the duration is not recorded. Modern estimates suggest more than one lifetime, perhaps a century or more. It likely spanned generations, skills and plans passed hand to hand. The work was grueling, dusty, dangerous, yet it continued. It was devotion to Shiva, power and piety from the throne, and prayer in every blow. Behind it, a mind we do not know. Artist, engineer, manager, geologist. They calculated every move many steps ahead. Grids, reference points, constant measurement, disciplined teams. A school, a guild, a continuity of leadership across generations. The Kailasa Temple is more than an empty monument. It was designed as a living center of religious life. A mandala in stone, guiding a spiritual journey. You enter through a low gate, pass into a courtyard, and behold the main shrine. You move through halls, past subsidiary shrines, gods and goddesses, epics in stone. Ellora's Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain caves stand side by side, Kailasa, Cave 16, at the heart. The Vimana evokes Mount Kailash, Shiva's abode. Courtyards mirror the world, bridges mark passages between earthly and divine. Even today you can feel its energy. The temple is not a ruin, it is whole. The stone is cool to the touch, silence fills the chambers. A mountain carved into a sanctuary, engineering inspired by a purpose beyond the physical. In the end, we are left with the rock and the silence, the absence of written records, the anonymity of the builders, so the temple must answer for itself. It is a work that speaks without words. It tells of ingenuity and unwavering dedication, of a vision powerful enough to command a mountain to yield. The top-down method, with all its risks and demands for perfection, was a choice. Perhaps the only way to make a temple truly monolithic, revealed from within the earth. It gives Kailasa an organic wholeness no constructed building can possess. We can model and measure, but not calculate the courage to begin, to strike the first blow. Even today, experts debate how planning was done top-down, how such coordination was achieved, how accuracy was maintained over decades. The temple challenges modern assumptions about ancient technology. The Kailasa Temple is not a mystery because of magic. It is a mystery because of human brilliance, discipline, and devotion. If ancient builders could carve an entire mountain into a perfect temple, what limits are we placing on ourselves today? Tell what you think about brilliance of Kailasa Temple. Thanks for watching. Please join us in the next wonder.